Welcome to ATR Powerslam, Above the Ring's exclusive YouTube show, coming to you to provide all your wrestling results for the week ending in June 3rd, 2023, with a 15-minute timeline. I can't believe we're in June already. We're halfway through the year. We're your hosts, the SOB and Scott. Before we get, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. We're going to kick things off with Scott for Monday Night Raw.
But yeah, talk about being in June. Like, I don't know where the hell this year is gone. But jumping into Raw for May 29th, so we're still in the last month stuff here. We had Seth Rollins come out, obviously the new World Heavyweight Champion, talking to the crowd, and then he is, I don't want to say interrupted, but AJ Styles from SmackDown comes out. They have a nice little moment together of mutual respect. Of course, before the Judgment Day shows up, starts acting some trouble, and we'll have ourselves a main event a little later on. Some tag team action. But first match of the night for Money in the Bank qualifiers. And Sam, you know, I love when they have this type of match and they have qualifying matches. It just makes it better. It makes me feel like they earn it more. So it was Ricochet versus The Miz. This was a real good match. We had Miz pulling out moves I haven't seen since the very beginning of his career. This man springboarded in the match. Springboard. Like, Miz does not springboard. No, yeah, but I digress. Ricochet does get the big victory, qualifies for Money in the Bank. Ricochet now will be a singles competitor because Braun Strowman actually is injured. He had neck surgery, so he's gone for at least the rest of the year. After that, we had Trish Stratus come out, introduce Zoe Stark, which of course led to Becky Lynch coming out. Brawl ensues, but the numbers game too much for Becky. Trish and Zoe come out on top. So obviously this feud is not over. We had Indus Sher come out and dominate two unfortunate souls. One of them being Big Body Javi from NXT. But it's nice to see Indus Sher getting some dominating wins. Hopefully this will actually lead into a legitimate feud going forward. We had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have a nice little war of words with Imperium. Kevin Owens going absolute batshit crazy during this because they never mentioned Imperium. Imperium shows up, so they're breaking the unwritten rule, which was hilarious. Reasons why Kevin Owens is my favorite current wrestler. But this did lead to a match that was scheduled for tonight, Imperium and the Alpha Academy, with Imperium getting a big victory. Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler coming out with the tag team championships, saying that nobody's going to touch them. So we'll see what happens. They end up getting that big victory in that fatal four-way tag team match. And we end up having JD McDonough, Dolph Ziggler ending in a double countout with these two just absolutely destroying one another. But JD ending up on top. So it's nice to see JD in a good feud. And it's nice to see Dolph Ziggler on television. I know a lot of people are like, when it comes to Dolph, but the man has been fantastic his entire career. And I still feel to this day he's been very underutilized. We have Cody Rhodes coming out, issuing another open challenge to Brock Lesnar after what had happened at Night of Champions. So obviously this ain't over yet either. Shinsuke Nakamura and Bronson Reed in a Money in the Bank ladder match qualifier, with Shinsuke getting the victory. A little sad that Bronson's not going to be in it, but Shinsuke, he's been booked so well recently. It's glad to see him going forward. And then our main event, the tag team match between Seth Rollins and AJ Styles defeating Finn Balor and Damian Priest. It's nice to see the champ obviously get that victory after the Night of Champions, but we'll see how things go forward with the Judgment Day and Seth Rollins. I would not be upset if Finn ends up being his first challenger. Moving over to NXT, we had the final toxic match. JC Jane, Gigi Dolan in a weaponized steel cage match. This was brutal, and I loved seeing it from these two. Gigi getting the win, and looks like she will be moving forward. As for JC, we'll see. She'll lick her wounds and find somebody else to attack. After that, we had Wesley and Tyler Bate getting a big victory over the Dyad. Joe Coffey defeating Stax Lorenzo. Tony D in jail. It's crazy. I actually saw the WWE did a new trademark for free Tony D, and I agree. The man has obviously been framed for something, so we'll see what happens going forward. After that, we had Cora Jade defeating Ivy Nile, and in our main event, we had Carmelo Hayes defending his NXT championship with a victory over Noam Dar. So that's it for the WWE stuff so far. We'll tag over to Sam so we can talk about AEW, ROH, and Impact.
We have a lot going on after the fallout from East Coast Excursion. Double or Nothing, come and gone. Open up the night, we had the Blackpool Combat Club take on, defeat Bandito, the Lucha Brothers. Pretty solid opener there. So I'm just making sure I'm reading the right one this time. Following that, we had a triple threat: Swerve Strickland taking on, defeating Big Bill and Trent Beretta. Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy taking on, defeating the Gates of Agony. We had the new TBS champion defending her new title, Chris Statler taking on Nyla Rose, getting the W there. It's so good to see her back just quickly.
Yes.
And she's just the pop she got. And I don't know if you went back and watched it, Scott, but it was just a pop I had not heard in a long time from anybody, honestly.
Yeah, it's nice to see her getting some very, very warm receptions because she's phenomenal.
Following that, we also had the main event: Adam Cole and Britt Baker taking on, defeat Chris Jericho and Saraya, and what I thought was a better match than what happened at Double or Nothing. Hopping over to the Impact Zone, we had Eddie Edwards take on, defeat Yuya Amura. We had Jake Chris and Sami Callihan defeat Decay, Black Taurus, and Crazy Steve. Trinity, good old Naomi, taking on, defeating Savannah Evans. Singles match: Jody Threat taking on, defeating Danny Luna. And the main event: Motor City Machine Guns taking on, defeating Subculture, Flash Morgan Webster, and Mark Andrews. And going over to Ethan's favorite show, Ring of Honor, because there's a billion matches on this show. It's the new dark, as he likes to say. Opening up the night, the Kingdom taking on, defeating the Infantry of Carly Bravo and Sean Dean. Sky Blue taking on Trish Adorna. Stu Grayson and the Righteous taking on, defeating the Dark Order, Alex Reynolds, Evil Uno, and John Silver. I got questions in regards to this.
Yeah.
Skimmish going on. Diamante taking on, defeating Promise Braxton. We had Brian Cage taking on and defeating Willie Mack. We had a TV title match: Zack Sabre Jr. taking on, defeating Rocky Romero. Another tag match: Action Andretti and Darius Martin taking on the Workhorsemen of Anthony Drake and Anthony Henry and JD Drake, getting the win there. Kip Sabian and the Butcher and the Blade taking on, defeating Bruce Saturn, Jacob Austin, and Shogun. Man, this is a lot. Good thing we didn't do Dark and Elevation back in the day.
Right?
Bandito, El Hito, Del Viquino, and Commander took on, defeated the Spanish Announce Project and Jack Cartwheel. There was a Ring of Honor pure title match: Katsuri Shibata defeating Alice Coughlin. And then the main event: Athena defeating Kira Hogan for the Women's World title. I'm going to tag right back over to Scott for WWE SmackDown.
So with SmackDown, we had Austin Theory, Pretty Deadly, have a 6-man against the Brawling Brutes. This was a lot of fun. Part of you can kind of see Austin Theory being in Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly also has brand new theme music, and I actually really like it. So that's a first. Normally I hate new music, but Austin Theory and Pretty Deadly get the big victory. We had the OC kick the crap out of Hit Row. So it's nice to see the Good Brothers getting the big victory. We had women's Money in the Bank qualifying as Zelina Vega qualifying for Money in the Bank after getting a big victory over Lacey Evans. We had more men's qualifying. Actually, this was actually the main event match of the night, was LA Knight defeating Montez Ford to qualify for Money in the Bank. And of course, the main event of this whole show was Triple H giving Roman Reigns a brand new title belt, something that I had talked about. I'm pretty sure everybody hadn't thought it was going to happen. He hits 1,000 days. He gets a brand new golden WWE Universal Heavyweight, whatever the hell you want to call it, title. It's the WWE Championship. That's basically what it is. But of course, the melodrama that is the Usos and the Bloodline. Usos show up. Roman tells Solo to take care of the brothers. Solo tells Roman, yeah, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief, but these are my brothers. Looks like Solo's going to stand with the Usos. And I'm sitting here like, what is going on? This is insanity. Roman's literally going to be by himself. And then out of nowhere, Solo spikes Jimmy, essentially throwing him out of the bloodline. Roman and Solo leaves. Heyman asks Roman, "What about Jay?" Roman turns, looks back at Jay while he's consoling his brother, and goes, "Jay will do what he always does. He'll fall in line." And I'm like, "Oh shit! Will they actually split the Usos? I don't know." But this SmackDown was really, really good. But I'll kick it over to Sam, talk about some Rampage, and then we'll close this thing up.
So you want to talk about really good shows? We had probably one of the best Rampages we've had in a long time.
Look at that
Open,
segue.
it was great. I mean, Scott, quickly, did you end up watching this?
I did. I watched it live. It was great.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great show. Opening the night, we had a triple A mega title championship, El Hito del Vikingo, retaining his title against Dralistico and Commander. We had Zack Sabre Jr. in the States on TV, taking on defeating an Action Andretti for the World Television title. Following that, we had Willow Nightingale taking on and defeating Emi Sakurai to retain her new women's strong title. And in the main event, we had the man himself, Katsuri Shibata, taking on defeating Lee Moriarty to retain his pure title championship. So, guys, that has been ATR Powerslam. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out our podcast every other week that drops on Monday mornings. And do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this with everybody.